Hello everybody, welcome back once again. As always, I am Jay, the one who transforms into something slightly less interesting, checking in with the Energon universe, this time with issue 7 of Transformers. Been a little bit of a delay since the last couple of check-ins. I've been unfortunately rather deathly ill, which has obviously prevented me from recording, so got a little bit of a backlog, I know, but we're going to start with the most recent one, Transformers. So, quick recap, not going to go into super detail this time. Previously on the Transformers. Our first arc wrapped up with the sudden appearance of Devastator, who managed to completely wreck the shit of the Autobots and put them on the defensive. Unfortunately, Devastator's attacks very nearly killed Optimus in the results, and with the Matrix without power, Optimus is very nearly about to die. However, Sparky, Spike's father, decides to sacrifice himself to regenerate the Matrix, restoring Optimus to strength and giving him enough power to defeat Devastator and save the Autobots. Meanwhile, Cliffjumper and Carly confront Starscream in an attempt to kill him, and very nearly succeed. However, Cliffjumper hesitates and allows Starscream to escape with his life, though only barely. And thus our first arc ends, with the Autobots reclaiming the Ark and a surefire victory against the Decepticons, though one not entirely without losses. So this one is very kind of all over the place. There's a lot of different plot lines going on, so I'm going to try to speed through this recap. So, we open up on Cybertron, presumably happening right now, where Autobots Huffer, Warpath, Cup, and Elita-1 are storming a Decepticon compound, attempting to rescue an unidentified Autobot. The rescue attempt is not the most successful, as Warpath, Huffer, and Cup are very gravely injured during the assault. Elita-1 is able to get inside, but discovers the prisoner, who based on general context clues I assume is Ultra Magnus, has been horribly cannibalized by the Decepticons and is presumably currently dead. Meanwhile, the Decepticons, hiding out on an active volcano, have convened a meeting, and Soundwave has challenged Starscream for leadership of what remains of the Decepticons. Starscream, in his usual sense, attempts to weasel out of the fight, but isn't given the chance to try to escape, and is forced to fight Soundwave. Starscream attempts, keyword attempts, to fight back, but Soundwave doesn't even give him a chance, brutally and savagely beating Starscream, tearing out his heart, I don't know, it doesn't exactly look the same as it usually does, and dumps his body into the volcano, cementing himself as the new leader of the Decepticons, for now. Later on, we get a scene with RC and Carly outside the Ark, where Carly is training herself to shoot to fight against the Decepticons. RC attempts to have a heart-to-heart with Carly, recounting her own origin in the field of battle, with a story about how Ultra Magnus saved her life and her youth, and how her quest for revenge only led to more suffering. But Carly's not exactly interested. Cliffjumper and Optimus both share their own griefs, Cliffjumper over not killing Starscream when he had a chance, and Optimus for allowing Sparky to die. However, Optimus' trip back isn't exactly smooth, as he suddenly has a vision of him holding a human baby in his arms. And our issue ends with a scene back at the Ark, where we find out that the Decepticons have used the cannibalized remnants of Skywarp to repair Teletran 1, preventing Wheeljack from repairing the other Autobots and having to do it the hard way. And the issue ends with Optimus returning back to the Ark, declaring that he has a plan to once more bring the fight to the Decepticons. So this one's pretty all over the place, naturally, and there's a lot of stuff going on, but I actually really liked it. It kind of feels like a nice little half epilogue and half kind of breather episode where there's a lot of stuff happening, and not necessarily a breather, obviously, there's a lot of important stuff happening, but the plot's not exactly moving super forward, and we're getting a lot of stuff just kind of dispersed in here to set up new stuff, which I really like. So I'm just going to go in order. The stuff on Cybertron is really short, but it's really fun, very brutal, because we immediately get introduced to 4 new Autobots, and 3 of them are already dead, or at least 2 of them are definitely dead, because Warpath gets fucking vaporized and Huffer's definitely dead. Cup gets part of his head blown off, but I mean, everybody usually walks away from stuff like that, so who knows if he's exactly dead. Which is good. And again, that brutal shot of the disassembled Autobot in the prison is really good. It's really kind of dark and gruesome. Again, I'm going to assume that's Magnus because it's got his kind of general body shape, and what remains of the head kind of looks like Magnus's head, but I'm not going to exactly put my money on it yet. But at the same time, there really aren't any other Autobots other than like the really obscure shit that I can really think of that it's going to be. Especially because, again, there's that mention later of Magnus, and RC mentions that Magnus is dead because of something she did. It's not entirely clear. It might just be an assumption. Who knows? But still, that it's a very striking visual as well. The stuff with the Decepticons is really good. I really liked It's barely a fight because it's mostly just Soundwave kicking the absolute shit out of Starscream. It's really good. It's really violent. I really like how just kind of unfair Soundwave is being, because they're just fucking done with Starscream at this point. We're just fucking done with this asshole. Let's finally do the smart thing and just kill him already and get rid of him. Again, I don't know if he's exactly going to be dead because this is Starscream and dying is just kind of a mild inconvenience to him in most series. So who knows? He's definitely going to come back at some point, but for now he's pretty dead, dude. I mean, he got his... Again, I don't know if it's like his heart, because it looks like kind of like an engine block, but it's vaguely like heart-shaped. They don't really ever do like realistic-looking like organs for Transformers. Usually like the heart, they do the generic spark look, which is just that kind of like glowing energy thing. So I don't know. I'm assuming that's what we're doing. I don't know if we're really going to get into stuff like that necessarily in this, because we're going really hard G1 kind of lore and aesthetic. But no, it's really good. Like that visual of Soundwave doing the Sub-Zero heart pull-out thing is really good. And I really like the scene where he's kind of standing in front of the other Decepticons holding it, and they're kneeling and they're chanting his name. It's really good. It's really good visual. Soundwave as our big bad is going to be interesting for a little while. I really like Soundwave, obviously, so it's nice he's really getting a major spotlight here now, which is good. It's really good. Beyond that, I like the stuff with RC and Carly. It was really nice. I kind of like that emotional arc they're going on with them. I like the idea of RC and Carly kind of having a thing going on, too. It's really interesting. Carly's whole traumatic wish for vengeance and her kind of training to be a soldier is a very natural way to kind of show her grief and just overall misery of her situation and the way she's processing everything that's going on. I like that kind of arc that she's going to go down, this kind of darker, violent arc. Though I imagine they won't go super far with it, at least not particularly for very long. But either way, no, I really liked it. I really liked RC's little story there about Magnus and her own kind of own fall to darkness and recovering from it. I really liked that. And the stuff, again, with Cliffjumper and Optimus were really good and nice and short. The image of Optimus kind of holding that weird vision he had of him holding the baby is really nice. I really like that they're gonna... I kind of predicted that they were going to be doing something about that, where obviously the whole deal is that Sparky merging with the Matrix and Optimus using that power is kind of like imprinting his memories and stuff onto Optimus. And I figured they were going to do something like that, or at least kind of keep it symbolic that Optimus is now kind of partially Spike's dad. But I wasn't expecting them to go super literal with it. I did hope they did, because I really like that kind of idea for a story element. But for now, that quick little tease is really good. Overall, it's a really good issue. I like that nice little setup there we're getting at the end. Again, we're kind of slowly eking into the next arc, and I'm not exactly sure where we're gonna go next from here, but I'm really looking forward to it. I assume because they were talking about how they need some sort of aerial support. I assume we're either going to be bringing Jetfire back, or we're going to be doing something else. I think it's a little too early to do the aerial bots and Superion, so we might not be doing that. But I do like that kind of setup of we're going to be getting more guys as well. So overall, again, really good issue. This was the first issue without Johnson on the art. He's still writing, obviously. But we have a new artist. We have Jorge Corona, and he does a really good job. He keeps a lot of the similar aesthetics and color palette and everything that we used for the previous issues. I mean, we still have Mike Spicer doing the art, so obviously it's still his palette, but the way he generally draws the characters and plots his fight scenes out, and just overall quirks and aesthetics very much matches Johnson's, so it keeps a very natural flow to it. He's a little more detailed. He kind of goes a little more, I don't want to say anime-esque, but he's a little less stiff, a little less cartoonish. He goes a little more hyper-detailed with a lot of the faces and the emotions and stuff. There is a little bit of, I don't want to, again, necessarily say anime-esque, but he has a very different style of human faces and human look, and I do like his versions of the humans better, but his versions of the Transformers cast are still really good. They match a lot of the sort of setups that we had with Johnson's design elements, so it feels like a very natural transition between artists, and I really do like his style. It's good. I think if we keep with him going for a little while longer, we'll be good. We only really had like the one fight scene with Soundwave and Starscream, so it's not exactly super much to judge his quality of drawing fight scenes out so far, but the scene that he did do is really good, and I really liked that battle scene on Cybertron. So I think he'll be a good replacement. I'm really looking forward to seeing what else he brings to the table. So again, I'm really confident with where they're going with Transformers. I'm really enjoying what we're getting. Overall, just again, another amazing issue. There's a lot going on, like I said, but at the same time, not a whole lot going on. But it's still a really good one, and it's a good kind of rest period, kind of setting up new stuff without getting too heavy into anything, and leaving a nice natural endpoint to lead into a bigger story arc. So that's about all I have to say this time. Gonna try to speed through the backlog of the ones that I missed and get into Void Rivals as soon as I can fucking get around to recording that as well. So look forward to those hopefully within sometime this week. Otherwise, that'll be all it for this time. Thank you very much for listening.